Shopify stock down 33% since all-time highs back in winter 2025. Is Shopify stock a buy after this drop? Let's find out in this video. Shopify is a Canadian multinational e-commerce company that enables businesses to sell online through Shopify's point-of-sale solutions with 5 million customers and processes 292 billion in transactions. We're seeing Shop stock price cross below the EMA 200 line, signaling bearish sentiment. We're also seeing Shop consolidate between 129 and 112, highlighted as white lines. If we zoom out, we see Shop has been increasing overall with a low of $29 back in 2022. This red line has acted as a support line for the past 6 drawdowns. There is room for Shop to decline further to around $103 per share, where this support line lands. You can easily see company financials on udomo.com. From revenue to free cash flow, price to sales, and price to free cash flow, Udomo calculates the financials that stock analysts like you want to see. We see Shop's revenue has been increasing year over year to $11 billion. Net income has been rocky. Shop had negative $3 billion net income in 2022 because of the expensive Deliverr acquisition. Stock was benefiting from the pandemic because more customers were spending online during lockdowns. Cost to borrow was also super cheap back then, with the Fed funds rate at 0.08% in 2021. With this e-commerce tailwind, Shop invested billions into building its own physical fulfillment network and acquired the logistics provider called Deliverr for $2.1 billion, which added capital expenditure and operating costs. Then Shopify sells Deliverr just a year later. And as a stock analyst, this gives me some pause. Is Shopify a visionary or reactionary company? Does Shopify's management have direction to where they want this company to be in the next 5-10 years? Shopify is returning to a leaner company, focusing on lightweight, higher margin software instead of property heavy logistics. I believe this is a win for Amazon. This shows Amazon's moat as the best and biggest e-commerce platform with their own logistics systems. Shopify has proven that building such a system is difficult to do because of the capital intensity, which drags on profitability, which shines Amazon's moat. Shopify has pivoted back to their roots and reversed net income back into the positive at $1.5 billion in 2025. But this does not mean CapEx is going down completely. Shopify's outlook is AI focused. Shopify is spending on AI and marketing to capture international market share. The increasing hosting costs and AI tools are pressuring margins. Let's talk about the pros from Shopify's full year 2025 report. The 10K shows reacceleration in revenue growth at 30% year over year. Shop also had strong free cash flow in 2025 at $2 billion. Shopify also now controls 14% of all U.S. e-commerce. Plus, Shopify authorized a $2 billion repurchase program, signaling that even management believes that the stock is underpriced and returning value back to its shareholders. Now for the cons, net income recovered to positive territory, but still down year over year compared to 2024. Management noted that net income is down primarily due to unrealized losses on investments in Flexport and Affirm as the tech sector continues to drag lower. Rising operating costs are pressuring bottom lines. Shopify is reinvesting into AI and international marketing to improve market share. Even with the decline in Shop stock price, the stock still trades at a premium with a price to sales of 13 and a price to earnings of 128. Let's compare this to Amazon. Price to sales of 3 and a price to earnings of 28. Now let's compare Shop's revenue and net income growth to Amazon's. Shop's year-over-year revenue and net income growth is 30% and negative 32%, compared to Amazon's 12% and 54% respectively. Content on Udemy is for information and entertainment purposes only, and I'm only sharing my own opinion and sharing with you my own financial journey. So, what do I think about Shopify stock? I think Shop is still overvalued, and I believe there are better opportunities out there in this market. Quick pivot from logistics back to software gives me some pause. I want a disciplined management team that knows the long term vision for the company. We can argue that it was a good pivot to do early on, to find that mistake early, but perhaps Shopify back then was a bit too acquisition happy when the cost to borrow was low back then. Valuation for Shopify is also relatively still high compared to other blue chip stocks. Yes, Shop grew revenue by 30%, which is larger compared to Amazon's 12%, but I can get Amazon 4x cheaper on a price to sales basis compared to Shop. Plus, Amazon is much diverse compared to the e-commerce platform like Shop. Not only does Amazon have e-commerce, but Amazon also has the AWS services to help websites and AI platforms host. Plus, Amazon had positive net income and a cheaper price to earnings. Even Meta has a price to sales of 8 and a price to earnings of 26, with a year over year revenue growth at 22% and 21% net income growth, growing faster than Shop. We're also in a K shaped economy where the top 10% account for 50% of all US spending. Lower and middle class households are cutting back spending, which may add pressure to small, medium sized businesses, which are Shopify's primary customer base, especially those businesses that are not selling essentials. Hope you enjoyed this video on Shop stock. What do you think about Shopify stock? Please leave your comments down below. Check out udemy.com for stock analysis tools and API solutions, and I will see you all in the next one.